All right. Well, welcome to everybody. We have a great crowd on here today, and it is the beginning of April. I know it's not our first week like we normally do, but I know so many people were on spring break last week that I just figured we're better off waiting a week to get more attendance, even though a lot of you probably just came back, and so you're trying to catch up on all your house stuff. So I appreciate everybody getting on and the people who are going to watch the call later. So I am Debbie. For those of you who I've never met or been on a call, put your hand up if you're new. This is your first beautifully polished call. All right, we have a couple at least that I see. I'm going from, a few. Okay, good. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you guys could be here. What we're going to do today for our call, this is kind of taking the place of our meeting this month too. Again, with spring break and Easter and so many places being separated, it was just hard for everybody to come together to give up with all this time off. So we skipped our in-person meeting for local people in May, or in April. We'll go back to it in May, and then starting in June, we're going to start with our corporate meetings that I'll be running for our area. But those of you who are out of town, that means you might have someone in your area that you'll be able to start attending meetings, which will be really great. I don't have a list of the locations or anything. We've had our first initial call, everybody doing it. So definitely look forward to that. What you'll get, you'll be getting a survey, I think, to get ideas if you would go to a meeting, and just to get, corporate kind of wants to know generally who would be in what area. And then they'll start adding all of our locations to the calendar in the back office. So it'll be great for those people who haven't been able to come to our local meetings. Meetings, I can't even stress, are awesome for your business. It gets you connected with other people. It keeps you motivated, keeps you excited. And the cool thing is corporate will be providing our material. So everybody, no matter where you are, you don't have to think, oh, I'm not at my team meeting, because I'll be teaching the exact same thing that you're getting at your meeting. We'll all be teaching the same exact stuff. So it'll be really a great program. So hopefully that'll benefit everybody who hasn't been able to come. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to talk about our accomplishments in March. Then I'm just going to go over a few more kind of nuts and bolts announcements things, and then we're going to jump into a few different topics here. I have some amazing teammates that were willing to jump on and be on the call with us today. So, okay, so for March, super, super exciting. So our cumulative team sales are $4,385,000. I know you guys got this in your email today, but I know everybody doesn't always open it. Awesome job. Our monthly sales last month were $338,693. So tons of nail strips, everyone. Great, great job. In our stylists and senior stylists, we put those groups together. Top 10 in sales, we have April Hoffman and Tracy Wilson. Oh boy, Monique Barrow, Brandy Blanchard, Stephanie, I always butcher your last name, Blaskowicz, Angela Hernandez, Sarah Miller, Mary Kathleen Douglas, Amy Shavaro, and number 1 is Marlena Young-Jones, and she had 3,250. So congrats to all of those stylists. Great, great job. All of them obviously earn enhanced commission, so they will be getting extra money this month, which is cool. And in leader sales, so I keep these guys separate just because then it gives more opportunity for people to be recognized, which I think is cool. So this would be anybody who is team leader and above in this category. So we have Lissa Trometer, Amanda Rebecca, Haley Cameron, and Aaron Cleffish. Oh, Aaron, I'm sorry. I think I always say that wrong. Maureen Flanagan, Dina Doyle, Leslie Traers, Stacy Flicklinger, Jackie McGowan, and number 1, Amy Myers, with $4,179. So pretty amazing. You'll be hearing from Amy today. She'll be talking to you a little bit about how she got her sales to be like that. So great job. We had 70 people hitting $1,000 in the $1,000 club or comma club. So amazing job, 70 of you. 80 new stylists. That's huge. And lots of promotions. 8 senior stylists: Kelly Schock, Ashley Klotz, Kelly Polak, Allison Romanowski, Linda Cyrick, Lauren Dinterman, Megan Haggerty, and Angeli Janoski. So congrats to all of those senior stylists and our 7 new team leaders. Sarah, I should know how to say this. Jacobus Farrajo. We're going to go with that. We're just going to say Sarah J. Megan Reisenberg, Stacy Flicklinger, Nicole Shook, Kristen Lewandowski, Kimberly Brady, and Lynn Warrington. So congrats to all those new team leaders, you guys. And if your name wasn't listed here, it by no means you're not working your business. These people were, marked as those higher earners. Doesn't mean you can't be there. And it doesn't mean that we don't recognize you. There's lots of other things to be recognized in our team page. So make sure, you're shouting out different things that you do. We don't always know what goals you're accomplishing. So let us know if you hit a big, huge milestone for yourself. We don't always know about that. So we love to hear about that. So make sure you brag about yourself. And don't worry, there is no such thing as bragging on our page. That's called getting excited about what we do. So along with that, I want to talk about our team page. I think people have really adjusted well to the change. New people don't know, but for people who have been here, we made a drastic change of people not just being able to go in and comment. I've gotten lots of good feedback that it's just way, way easier to find all the information in our team page. So I really like that. So when you want to post something, you just have to find the album that kind of goes along with it. And eventually your answer could be in that album once more and more people have been commenting through there. So that would be the goal. Everybody in here has a separate group outside of Beautifully Polished put on by another leader, other than our whole team page. So, go in those groups. We're trying to kind of field questions out that way. And that way our big group can kind of stay as more of an informational piece and sharing ideas, but questions can kind of be fielded within your own team groups. So I think it's been going along really well. So give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the new way. Some people are. Okay. Couple reminders. Remember, we cannot go to Canada to sell, you guys. We are not licensed there. We're trying to get licensing. If people find out you're there or setting up events or doing nail bars, we could lose our opportunity. So make sure you are not selling across the border. It's the final month of the BQ Consistency Program. So if it's your last month, make sure if you've been in February, March, and April, make sure you do at least your 300 this month so you get those awesome nails. Baseball nails, as you saw in the newsletter, go on sale tomorrow. They're so cute. I was very depressed when I had to take the basketball nails off Saturday because my team lost. I was hoping to keep them on through the call tonight, through tomorrow if Michigan State played, but we lost. So it was very depressing at my house. So I have no basketball nails on. Pause for a Cause nails, you guys, they're out right now, but they will make more, so there will be getting more. So don't panic, so we will have more. Just not sure when. I know shipping has been slower. I think I just got an order that I think I ordered one day last week. So it is a little bit slower. The spring launch caught them behind, even with all the overtime they've been working, they just haven't caught up quite yet. So just be patient. I know it sounds like there's been some issues with ordering. I do have my corporate call after this today. So anything else I find out, I will make sure I post in Beautifully Polished tonight, because we didn't get a whole lot of information on that on our senior director call with corporate today. So I'll see if I get any more info tonight. So if you have orders that are wrong, you guys know to go to the customer support site and file a ticket with them. It's the best way to handle that. Conference sign up. You guys, I'm going to emphasize one more time. It's amazing. You get that lower conference price until May 15th. If you're thinking about it, I would definitely, I know there's that conference budget that just came out, a little like Excel spreadsheet, so you can kind of budget out your money. I can't emphasize enough what an amazing experience it is. So if you can swing it, I highly advise you to be there to get to know our team, to get to know people on other teams. We have a Facebook group, so make sure if you sign up, you go into, I made an album in Beautifully Polished, so go in there and just say, hey, signed up, and so we can make sure you get added into that group. Your rank by July, whatever your rank is, your paid as rank for July is going to be what they recognize you at for conference. So whatever your goal is for conference, make sure you are working, that you set what you need to do to hit that rank so you hit it in July, paid as August 1st. So if you want to be a team leader at that meeting and you're going to be invited to the Friday day training, you've got to set your sight on that. You have plenty of time. You have April, May, and June, and July. That's 4 months. That is enough time to become a team leader. I don't care if you started yesterday. If you work your business, you could be team leader in that amount of time. But you have to be serious about it. So hopefully today, some people will give you some tips. So I know not everybody will be able to go to training. So stay tuned, because on Beautifully Polished, we are going to be having something for people who hit team leader, that for everybody, even if you're not going to conference. So you could, even though you know you can't go, you could still set that as a goal for you. And it is to be announced. I will tell you what it is soon, in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. So it's a good goal for you to have in your head, even if you're not going to conference. All right. So those are the announcements I have for today. What I want to do is I'm going to talk for a minute here. Then each speaker is going to talk. And then at the end, if we have time, whatever time we have left, we can do a Q&A for any questions you have for me or any of the people who spoke, or any other, any leaders, or just anything we want to collaborate about. I have until 9 o'clock, then is my corporate call. So we have to end by then. Okay, so let's talk about your Color Street business. So this kind of goes along with if you've set those goals for what you want to be at conference. You guys all signed up to sell Color Street. You're all on this call or you're watching the replay, which tells me that you want to make something of this. You don't want to just do it and sign up and, you know, buy nails every 6 months to, you know, put on yourself and your friends. To me, if you're on calls and you're wanting to learn, it means you're serious about your business and you want to do something with it. So if you're serious about your business, you are a business owner, you guys. I know this is like the coolest job you can really have, and it's amazing and awesome, but we are business owners. So you have to take Color Street. If you want to make it a business, you got to treat it like a business, which means as fun as it can be, you got to be serious about it as well. You know, we have a simple formula. It's really easy. We sell and sponsor, right? But it doesn't mean that's a simple formula, but it doesn't mean it's simple to do. All right. So the concept is a simple one, but it doesn't mean that it's just going to happen just like that without putting some effort into it. So the formula we have an inexpensive consumable product, right? We can sell online. We can sell in person. We can sell at vending events. We can sell on the street if we walk on the street and someone likes our nails. So again, the concept of selling it is great. And we can carry it in our purse. There's so many things that make it a simple idea, but how do you put these ideas into action? And I know some months can be so great and you're on up here because you sold, or today you talked to so many people and everything is working out so well. Then all of a sudden a week later, you can go from this high down to this low. Oh my gosh, I can't do this business. I'm terrible at it. Nobody talked to me. 5 people rejected me. I can't get a nail bar booked. I get it. I get that this job can be like that. And that's what makes our job hard. So I know I've said it before, but we truly, being our own boss can be the best thing, but it can be the hardest thing because it can be really easy. It's the great thing about being our own boss is look at everyone who got to go on spring break. Did you have to ask for time off from Color Street? No. Did you get 5 days docked out of your 2 weeks that you get vacation days? No. Did you get to go to your son's baseball games yesterday if you wanted to? Yes. I mean, all that's great about Color Street. But I also understand the hard thing is you have that whole day in front of you. No one's checking in on you to see, what did you do today? Did you do this? You don't have deadlines to turn things in. So our job takes a lot of self-discipline, and I know that. And some days you have more self-discipline than others. So that's why I kind of want to talk about. So the first step in working your business is setting business hours. You've got to set business hours. When are you going to work? I've had to kind of adjust mine over time because things always change. I found when I first started, I was on the phone all the time. I mean, all the time, because we had nothing. We started with nothing. And we were just on the phone trying to make anything out of, I mean, we had to figure out everything from anyone who was here at the beginning, any of these teammates. I mean, I'm telling you, we had to figure every little thing you guys do, we didn't have training on. We had to figure it out. So I was on the phone constantly. It became a little stressful at my house. Every time my kids came home, I would be on the phone. So I've had to adjust my work hours, which I have that flexibility to do. I don't take calls typically between like 2:30 and 4. So when they walk in the door, I can be with them. Not that, teenagers don't necessarily want to be with me, but I'm there and available and I can get dinner ready. They can be around, we can talk. I'm able to do that. So your hours may change, but I can almost 100% guarantee, unless something comes up, I'm available between the hours of that 10:30 to 2:30. Those are my 4 set hours that are pretty reliable, unless I have something pop in there that I will get back to people as quick as possible. Set your business hours. And then within your business hours, you've got to decide what you're going to do. What are you going to decide? What are you going to look at that week? What are you going to look at each day? If you don't discipline yourself while you're working, if this thing goes off constantly. I can't even tell you how many messenger messages I get a day in different groups and stuff. And it's real easy for me to say, okay, today I'm going to work on a training call. And then I get distracted by this and I'm answering texts and I'm doing Facebook and you can't. You've got to shut it down and you've got to devote whatever your goal is. That's what you need to do at that given time, or you're not going to get things done. So when you set aside your time, set it aside truly. So I want to introduce Tisha Thomas, who's a director, and she's a very busy mom, 4 young kids, and I saw her new baby in there a minute ago, their newest addition of 2 months, and she's still working her business as a leader. She runs it effectively. She doesn't have to change things because of, yesterday I know she called me at 11 at night because she had been doing things all day and couldn't get to returning my call till late at night. So maybe she's had to restructure things with the new baby, but again, that's the flexibility of our job that she could. So she is going to tell you all about what she does with her schedule as a very, very busy person. So I'm going to mute me.
Hi, Team Beautifully Polished. How are you? I am Tisha Thomas. I'm a director with this company. I have had to change some things around in the last 7 weeks since having a baby. It's gotten a little crazy around here because she is my 4th, but I still make sure to devote time to my business. I don't want to ignore my business. If you let it go, then you need to put more work into it when you can catch up. So it can get tough. Before having her, I had 2 older kids in school and a 4-year-old home with me. So what I would do at that time is during his nap time, I would take time to be very intentional with my business. And I would set a list in the morning of what I was going to do. So even if I could only give it 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I would write a list of, I'm going to spend 5 minutes writing emails or 5 minutes doing text messages. I'm going to reach out to these people and be specific and do that during his nap time. And then I would devote some more time at bed after they were in bed. Now, since having a newborn, my schedule is kind of up in the air every single day, but I make sure to give time to Color Street when I can. I'm not sure when during the day that will be, but I make sure that it happens. So usually I have a whiteboard. I write my tasks on it and check them off throughout the day. I do the same thing for my kids. And first nap time, it's spend 5 minutes. Even if it's just sending emails for 5 minutes or calling people, reaching out to the team, whatever I need to do. If I can take longer than that, I'll take a little longer than that. But throughout the day, at each time she lays down for a nap, I'll take the first few minutes and devote it to Color Street. Then my toddler's still home, so I'll be with him or doing housework, trying to catch up, do what I can. But I am intentional with my time devoted to Color Street every day. I don't want to get behind, and I am behind actually a little bit now, but I don't want to shut down and not do anything in a day because it's hard to catch back up. So I just try to juggle everything. It hasn't been easy, but you can give time to your business every single day. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but so yeah.
Thank you, Tisha. I look at that. If you can have 5 or 4 young kids with a 2-month-old and still have time to do it. And you said a couple of real key points is being intentional. With your limited time, you can't be loosey-goosey in the fact that you have to know what you're going to do each day. Otherwise, again, you can get caught up in the Facebook stuff. The Facebook type things, you can probably do those while you're nursing, right? I mean, that's an easy thing to, but the more intentional things you've got to do when you don't have a baby right there.
Yeah.
And then I liked, oh gosh, what was the other thing you said? I like how you said getting behind. You guys, that is the key too, is touching your business every day. When I go on vacation, I may not do it as much as I normally do, but I do something almost every day, even if it's a quick little thing, because I know I'll pay the price when I get back, and I'm going to have to, like you said, do more. But if I can just touch little bits to take little bits off, like you said, maybe it's sending out, maybe it's even 2 emails. Maybe it's 2 texts to people that have shown that, you're following up with them as a customer. So touch it every day.
Yeah.
So,
and I want to, one thing I forgot to add is that I keep my party in my purse everywhere I go, which is a bag with samples, my business card, the nail files, alcohol prep pads. It goes everywhere with me. So when I'm out and about, every time I go out, which is not often lately, but the pediatrician or grocery store, wherever I go, I make sure to give a sample and talk about Color Street, even if it's just a one person. And, those things make a difference, and it's still putting time towards your business each time you leave. So even though my time is limited, I figure out the time to make it work.
Awesome. Thank you, Tisha.
Thanks,
All
Debbie.
right. So now that you guys know, you've got to set that schedule. Decide, again, she can't set necessarily work hours, but if you have the opportunity to set work hours, I would set work hours that that you're disciplining yourself with. But how are you now? What are you going to do about getting people and talking to them? And so, you may or may not be in and out or out of your friend and warm market. So now I would like to introduce senior stylist Nikki Benning, who's going to talk about networking. She's very good at talking with people. She's a mom to a 9-year-old daughter, sons 13, 15, and 16. I love this. She has a deaf dog, 1 cat, 2 bunnies, and I'm not sure if the partridge in a pear tree was a joke or she really has one. Do you have one? Hang on. Do you have a partridge in a pear tree?
No partridge, but there are 4 ducks.
Okay. And she also works at a facility as a director of summer camps, marketing, beach volleyball, and adult kickball. So again, another very busy lady, but she definitely gets things done. So let's hear from you, Nikki.
Hi, everybody. So I was asked to talk about networking. So I made some notes because networking is something I do all the time. I had a previous boss kind of throw me into the role of networking for a different business, and I had to learn it on the fly. But the great thing about it is it's easy, and there are lots of different places to do it. So I wanted to share first a few ideas of places where you can network. So I happen to belong to more than one chamber of commerce. The one where my day job is based, I'm actually on the board of directors, so I'm really involved in that one. But I also get involved in a couple other chambers around my town as well. there are, if you look around where you live, you can find young professionals groups. Some have age limits on them, others don't. You can find professional and just social clubs where people meet to do all kinds of different things. Moms groups, even the other vendors at vendor events, a lot of those events give you time to set up way ahead of time. And if you're like me, I can get to a vendor event 20 minutes before they start and have my table set up because there's just not that much stuff for Color Street. But I try to go earlier than that so I can set up and then walk around and talk to different vendors and get to know some of those people. Even PTO, PTA, things like that. There are other specific business networking groups. They're often a little bit more costly, but if it's something you're able to do, you can look up BNI groups, BNI. LBN is another one. It stands for Local Business Networking. There's one out in this area called Sunrise Networking Group, and I think there's several chapters of that. It might just show up as SNG if you're looking for it. But if you just start searching online, you can find a lot of different networking groups all over the place. So some things, how to do it. It's important to make sure that you project the image that you're trying to sell. So I think about my normal, if I'm working at home, I might not have like real pants on, right? You're working like this at your computer. And if you go out to the grocery store and you're in your goofy, I look like I just rolled out of bed look, that's probably not the ideal time to be networking because that's not what you want to be selling most of the time. So if you think you're going to be out in a place like Tisha talked about, even when she's at the pediatrician or the grocery store, if you have the ability to freshen up a little bit, throw on a little makeup to your hair or whatever, doesn't have to be, don't go crazy, but just try not to look like a mess so that you are more comfortable and more confident talking to strangers. I find that really helps me a lot, being able to approach people that I don't know. I do like best doing my networking when I am in places that is specifically meant for business networking, like Chamber, LBN, S&G, that kind of thing, because I feel like that's the one opportunity where people expect to hear about your business. So you don't have that, oh, I feel awkward trying to tell people what I do. They don't want to hear about my business. That's not what I know we all tend to have that self-consciousness about people. You don't want to tell people what you do and be pushy and be salesy. Well, if you're at a business networking group, that's what everyone's there for, to share their businesses. So they're expecting it, and it takes that awkwardness away. So the last thing I have is I made a little list of do's and don'ts for networking. So I'm going to give the don'ts first because I'd like to end on a positive note. So the don'ts. If you're at a networking event or an organization, club meeting, whatever, do not corner someone and monopolize their time. If you do that more than once, people see you coming and will turn and go the other way because, oh gosh, here's the person that's never going to let me talk to anybody else. And people don't like that. They don't want to feel like they're tied to you for the whole time that they're there. Don't introduce yourself to someone and then start immediately trying to pitch your product and sell. Networking is all about building relationships. It's not the first time you meet someone you're going to sell to them. It's a time investment. You have to continually visit these different organizations so that you do build relationships with the people that are there. Don't talk about yourself excessively. You're there to get to know people, not to let people get to know you, which sounds counterintuitive to what we're trying to do, but I promise you it works. Generally, when you're networking, you're trying to get to talk to new people you don't already know. So if you don't already know people, that's not the time to bring up sensitive topics, politics, religion, off-color subjects. This is not the time for your awesome dirty jokes. Keep those for another time. Do not show up, meet people, introduce yourselves, and then not follow up afterwards. Then it's a waste of your time. If you go and meet people and talk to them and then that's it, never again, you really didn't get anything out of it. And of course, the last don't walk around and try to pass out your card to as many people as possible or try to collect as many business cards as possible. This is not like your kid collecting Pokemon cards where the more you have, the better it is. You don't need 400 of them. 4 really good ones that you can follow up with would be great. So what you should do, the things you definitely should do when you're networking, make it about the other person. Be interested in them. ask them questions, and then listen to their answers. It's really important that you actually take the time to listen. How often do we meet someone or see someone and say, hey, how you doing? And it's like you say it in passing. You actually ask them a question and didn't listen for an answer. So talk to people, make eye contact, ask questions, and wait to listen to their answers. If you're able to, jot notes down so that when you follow up, you have those notes to jog the conversation memories, and you can say things about that you'd already talked about with them. Make sure you introduce yourself to people you don't already know. When you do start going to the same organization, club, meetings, whatever, you'll get to know there are certain people that you already know. It's real easy to do that and stick with those same familiar faces. It's best to try to at least get a couple people you've not talked to before each time so that you can expand your network to more people. And the last thing is, when you talk to somebody, ask them if you can have permission to reach out to them after this event to either meet for coffee or just chat on the phone and get to know a little bit more about them and their business. No one's going to tell you, no, I don't want you to learn more about my business. But that builds that relationship, and then they're more willing to give you their contact information and say, yeah, I'd love to tell you more about what I do. And in turn, they will ask you for you to tell them about what you do, because it's a mutual thing when you're networking with people. So that's my do's and don'ts of networking. Hopefully that can help some people.
That's super helpful, Nikki. Thank you. I have a few things too. I love how you said you feel so much better when you're dressed up, and that's true. If you're running out, if I'm talking to someone on my way into workout with no makeup, I'm not looking my best. But when I put an outfit on that I feel good in, oh my gosh, I love to go and chit chat with people.
Yep.
So you absolutely, that is so true. When you do put on something you like, you feel better about yourself, and you're more apt to go up and talk to people.
Yep.
Okay, and I loved your comment on follow-up, because that holds true everywhere we go. Don't do a vending event, don't do a nail bar, don't do any of it if you're not going to follow up. You've got to follow up. It is such a huge part of our business. So this is no different. Going to a networking event is no different than anything else. So I'm thinking, like, this is probably a lot of people here have never done an event like that. So can you just give us you told us some do's and don'ts, but could you give us a picture then? You walk in this event, everyone is there to share their business. So they're all there for the same intention. But so could you just kind of pretend you're carrying on a conversation, and what would you be saying to these people then, knowing, you're there to share Color Street, they're there to share their business. So how would you carry on a conversation?
So people like to talk about their business because, of course, that's what we're all there for. So I would approach a new person, and generally at these things, there's people that are kind of positioned as an ambassador. Like our Chamber of Commerce, we have ambassadors that will meet new people at the door, because you recognize when someone's never been, and kind of bring them in and go, hey, what's your name? What do you do? And introduce them to someone else and let them kind of continue from there. So if somebody introduced me to you for the first time, I would just immediately ask you, hey, I'm Nikki Benning with Color Street. Nice to meet you. Debbie, what do you do? And then when you tell me what you do, I might follow that up with, how long have you done that? How did you get into that business? What do you love about it? Or whatever, however the conversation goes from there. But I try to keep it on them, at least for the first. I try to do 2 or 3 questions, and then eventually it'll flip back where they'll start asking me questions, and you can kind of have some back and forth that way. And then once you've got a little bit of information, you can say, I'd love to learn more about your business. Do you want to swap business cards, and I can get in touch with you later on in the week? We can talk or meet for coffee, and I'd love to learn more about what you do. And then you do that, and then you can kind of try to find another person to introduce yourself to.
That's awesome. And you mentioned too, like vending events, making friends with the other vendors.
That's how I get most of my vending events. I have events a lot. I know there are some women in our group that have 5, 6, 8 a month. I don't have that many, but I go in streaks where I'll do an event, and then someone from that event, while I'm there, will say, hey, are you doing this event? Or are you doing this event? And then all of a sudden they're connecting me with other people. So I really don't ever have that problem where people will say to me, well, I can't get an event. Every time I call on one, they've already got a Color Street person. I don't usually have that problem because I get my events from other people at events.
Right. And that's something to think of, you guys, is that these are different types of relationships. It's not, you may not be looking at this person right here to sponsor the second But so for example, I did a vending event a few weeks ago. It was a 2-day event. So the woman next to me, we just chatted and chatted the whole time. Well, now we're meeting after I get back because we just want to compare what we do to network, what we're doing. She set me up with an vending event, same thing that she's doing. I sent her to somebody that I'm doing. We're going to get together to see how both of us advertise. So she may never be a person that's going to sign up and sell with me, but it doesn't mean that she's not going to refer me to other people. She already said, you know what, I need to tell this business to my sister and to my mom. So remember, when you're networking like that, it's not always just that, oh, I want this person to sign up. It can lead to so many other things. So you've got to think bigger than just I want them to sign up or I want them to buy nails for me right now. It's different than that. Did you want to add anything else, Nikki?
I will say I've had, because when I go to these events now, people do know me and they know who I am. They see me coming. The majority of my in-person sales outside of working a big event are at these events. I bring my entire inventory. I have a box that I just keep in my car if I'm going to these things, because I'll get, oh, did you bring your stash with you? What do you have? I need something for something this weekend. And I'll just, yeah, it's in my car. Or I don't usually bring it in with me because I feel like that looks a little pushy, but I'll have it in the car. And it's kind of a joke that people are like, oh, you got nails to pedal out of your trunk today? And I have a friend that sells Mary Kay, and the same thing. She has it in her trunk all the time. So there's like deals going down in parking lots as we're all swapping product and selling product out of our cars, but they know it's there. And what ends up happening is one person will say, well, what do you have? Did you bring it with you? I'll say, well, yeah, of course. And I'll bring it out. And there's been many times where all of a sudden it's like a feeding frenzy on the table at the end of a meeting, because one person asks to see what I have and then 3 other people see it. I've had men shop and go. I had one guy that was so excited because he's got 2 daughters at home and his wife was out of the country for the whole month. He bought 4 sets of nails and went home and did his 7-year-old and 9-year-old daughter's nails and posted pictures on Facebook because he felt like the dad of the year.
Oh, that's cute.
And now his wife orders from me on a regular basis.
That's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the key of networking. You don't know how the trickle effect will be. So always build relationships.
It's not usually the first time. I don't usually make a sale the first time I talk to somebody.
Sure.
It might be the 3rd or the 5th or the 15th time, but eventually it gets around to that.
Sure. Well, thank you. Great advice, Nikki. Thank you. All right. So now we've talked about getting your schedule organized, networking with people. So now let's talk about, now that you've talked with these people, you get events and sales. So how do you get sales like $4,000 in a month, right? So next up we have Amy Myers, who's a newly promoted team leader. She just started in November. So remember what I said, that would be November, December, January, February. So she hit it in March, so within 5 months. And she joined the end of November with the holidays. So you can totally do it for conference. She is a mom of 2 high schoolers, one of which is graduating, and I have one of those, and I know how time consuming that is. She is a teacher as well, and she's been number 3, at least within the top 3 of our team for the last 3 months. And then, like I said, having over $4,000 this month, being number 1 in our team. So let's hear from how she gets these sales with her crazy busy life that she has. Let me see if I can find you in here, Amy. If you see yourself, to unmute you. I'm not finding you. Can you unmute yourself, Amy?
I think I did. Can you hear me?
Oh, there. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome. I'm going to mute me. So thanks, Amy.
Okay. So parties is kind of, not kind of, but that's how I'm working this business. And so how do I get the parties? Pretty much I am asking people. So I want to just kind of talk through some examples of things that have worked for me. Debbie had said, feel free to share my verbiage with you. Like, what do you say? How do you reach out to these people? So I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of examples of that. So the first place I kind of start is I try to look on, my Facebook group, who is liking my pictures, who's commenting, who are those gals that are posting Nelfies. And I reach out to them. Typically, I use Facebook Messenger because most of the people that are in my group, I don't have their personal text message or emails. And so Facebook Messenger is really awesome for that. So there was a girl named Amy who was a college acquaintance of mine. She was a few years younger than me. And I had sent her a sample, and then she had asked, well, I guess she was showing off her samples, and she was chatting it up on Facebook about Color Street. So she was really excited about it. And then there were other friends of hers who also wanted a sample. So they're commenting, can I get a sample? Can I get a sample? And so I messaged her, and this is exactly what I said to her. Girl, you are spreading the hype for Color Street. Thanks so much. You should think about hosting an online party and earning free nails. Perfect timing once these gals get samples, and I can send you samples, more samples to pass out. She said, sure. What day or week is good for you? And I was like, booyah! This is so exciting. So we did an online party with her, and actually hers barely got to that 150 level. I think she may have hit like 160. But from hers, another lady in that party booked, and I have since sent them both business cards of mine because they get compliments all the time and they're always sharing the product. And Amy, this original party girl, I've reached out to, and I'm like, you should really think about being a stylist. You're great at this. She posts about it on her own Facebook page. She'll post her nail fees. And so she's thinking about it. So I'm still trying to work on her. Then from the second party that got booked from my original Amy, a third party booked. And so you kind of keep them rolling with those gals in those parties that are really liking them and those that are ordering. So that was kind of my first example. Another example, I sent a sample to a friend from my church, and she sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, and it was like a nail fee of her little twosies, and she said, I think I'm hooked. Well, that's all I needed. So I answered back, and I was like, awesome, these look great on you. Isn't it, great that the time we save, the money we save, and how they last. And then I waited about a week because that was right before Christmas. So maybe I actually waited about 10 days or so. And then I reached back out and I said to her, Happy New Year, because it was, before, right around Christmas Eve when she first messaged me. So Happy New Year. What do you think about hosting a Color Street party with some girlfriends who need this product in their lives? I'm giving a free Valentine's set for hosting a face-to-face party in January or February. No worries if you aren't ready yet. And she said, definitely interested. What dates are you available? And then I just went from there and we got it set up. She had an amazing party. 2 ladies who came, we had a face-to-face. So the first examples I was telling you about were all online, and they were in Tennessee, and I am here in Michigan. And so I didn't even know those ladies. And so it's kind of cool. One of them messages me all the time now. She's like, we're BFFs. I'm like, yes. Anyway, this one was a face-to-face party. She was local. 2 ladies who came, they were a little bit older. They were both like, I'm just here for my granddaughters. One of them is like, I get acrylics. That's the only thing I do for myself. I treat myself. I'm not ordering. I'm just going to order for my granddaughters. I'm like, okay, you sure you don't want to try a sample? And so I talked to her about putting it over acrylics and extending it. And she was so excited about that. So she ordered, and then she booked a party. And then another lady who was like, I'm a crafter. I don't have pretty nails. She put on Tokyo Lights sample, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is actually pretty. I feel pretty. And she got super excited. And so from me reaching out to my original person, 2 more face-to-face parties were booked. From one of those, another party was booked. From hers, 2 more parties were booked. And so it just kind of gets rolling and keeps rolling. And then if I'm feeling like, okay, I only have 2 parties booked for April, then I'm working in March, like mid-month. I'm like, okay, I need to have, my goal just for myself is to have at least 4. And I guess that kind of came from the initial training of you need a launch plus 4. And so I always strive to have 4 going. And I've been able to do that so far. And sometimes they trickle over from one month into the next. And so I think that's why March worked out really well for me, because I had some girls in February who were super excited about the spring launch. So they kept their parties open and they had people reorder. And then they ordered, and they wanted to get their rewards up high. So I had a lady with an $800 party. She still hasn't picked out her rewards yet. I'm like, we got to pick out these rewards, because she wanted to wait for the spring ones. And so so that was another example, and it literally just started from me asking. So I would love to encourage you. I say this: put on your rhinoceros skin, that tough skin, and just go for it. I also feel like if I don't ask, my answer is for sure no. It's a no if I don't ask. And so I put on my rhinoceros skin. I reach out there. I try to keep it lighthearted. I try to make them feel like they don't have to say yes to me. Like the last example I shared, no worries if you're not ready yet, because sometimes I feel like the people need to wear them. They need to fall in love with them and realize how awesome this is. And so most of them I've been reaching out to. I had a couple recently who've been like, I'm out of nails. I need some more. I want to host. And so that's beginning to happen for me. But for the most part here at the beginning, I've literally been reaching out to people. Am I going too long? Okay. So another example, I had a girl in a party who she placed big orders, like $100 orders. I was like, dang, this girl likes her some Color Street. So of course she's on my radar for having a party at some point. And I reached out to her. The initial party she was in was like January or February. So I reached out to her and I said, we have the spring launch coming. I sent her pictures. I said, do you want to host a party and earn some of these spring nails, as your rewards? And she was like, sure, LOL. And I kind of wasn't sure what she meant by the LOL. And I was like, But anyway, she hosted, and it's been a wonderful party for her. She went on spring break and she's like, I'll pick out my rewards when I get back. But she has a cousin who I got my sights on because she also places big orders, and she places multiple orders. And so I'm getting return customers like from her. So those are some things that have worked for me. Putting on my rhinoceros skin and just asking people kind of in a lighthearted way. Sometimes I also plant the seed in the comments on Facebook if people are liking things and I know that they've bought. I will, let's see, I wrote it down. I'll just kind of in a lighthearted way. When are you going to host a party, girl? You can earn these free nails. So, just kind of lighthearted seed planting kind of stuff that way as well. So, I'm also always, I want to just show you I have a little planner, because I'm an English teacher. And so I always have a list going of people I'm thinking about asking to host a party because they're liking stuff or they're commenting or they're purchasing. And so I feel like I try to keep a list of who I've got my sights on. And I also have a list of like who needs to be a stylist. I think Dana Doyle taught me, that's my next stylist. They just don't know it yet. So I try to keep a little list of those girls going too. And so that's kind of what's been working for me, really just reaching out to people, putting myself out there.
That's awesome. I loved your, what was your expression? I know it's going to be an automatic no if you don't ask. That's a great expression. So let me ask you this, about how many no's do you feel you get to a yes?
Okay, I'm so not a numbers girl, but let's see. I have had no's, and I have had people not even respond, and that's even more hurtful than a no. I'm like, just answer my message,
right. Right.
Tell me no, because I feel like it's a little bit more hurtful if they just ignore me. But gosh, I don't know, maybe 1 no to 5 yeses.
Okay. And do you find one way of responding, whether it be text or call, or do you find one way to work better than another?
Literally, all of mine have been Facebook messages.
All of them are Facebook Messenger.
Unless they're a close friend and I text them, but I've actually tried not to get into my close friend group yet.
Okay. So you haven't even touched your warmest market yet.
At first, my first few parties, like my mom, a friend from church, a very close friend of mine who just loved Color Street. They're like, I'll have a party for you. I'll have a party for you. So at first it was a few people really close to me, but I had just had a party in October with Paula Warren. And so then when I signed up, I was like, I'm going to give those friends that came to that party some space. Like, I didn't want to just jump right in on them and say, I need you to host a party for me, because they had just attended one for me, when I was a hostess. And so I have not reached out to those super close friends yet.
So you still got a lot of people you can go on that Frank list.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. That's great advice. And obviously what you're doing is working. So keep it
It's so
up.
much
And
fun. I'm loving it.
yeah, thank you.
Great mentors in Paula and Dina. They're
All
awesome.
these teachers.
Yes.
All right, so our last speaker tonight. So now that we've talked about getting the sales and the customers, what do you do with these customers now? You've done your initial sale. So we're probably going to go a few minutes over 9 because I want to give Michelle her time the entire time she wants to talk. So I'll just get on my call late. So Michelle, don't feel rushed for time here. Now Michelle's going to talk to you about what do you do with these customers to keep them and to work with them in your VIP group. She does a great job. She is another busy mom of 2 teenage boys. She's a respiratory therapist at St. Mary's. She does a fantastic job in her VIP and with her customers. Whenever I see a thing that says Michelle McKago is live, I cannot resist not hopping on because I'll tell you, she makes me laugh. She is just goofy and silly, and I can't even tell you. I think one time she was asking what kind of Christmas tree to get. Another time it was about how she should do her hair. I mean, she has all sorts of funny things. So I'm going to let her tell you about what she does with her customers. So she never fails to make me laugh. All right, Michelle, I can't find you either. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, and she's a director. Sorry. All right, where are you, Michelle?
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm going to mute me then.
Here I am.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay. Well,
you're so dark. Are you dark on purpose?
Okay. No, not on purpose, but I'm outside because it's quieter out here. I'm worried about interruption. But
right.
I mean, that was a great intro. I feel like the pressure is on now for me to perform. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I love social media. My Facebook, everyone on Facebook, they've given me such great advice. Okay, let's talk about your VIPs. And this is a good piggyback to everything we've heard tonight, because your work does not stop with your VIPs and your customers in that aspect. The biggest mistake that I see stylists make with their VIP group is they don't work the group, and you have to work your group. That's not the place you want to slack off. My VIP group is comprised, and some new stylists may, one of the biggest questions on my team that new stylists have messaged me is, how do I build a VIP group? So your VIP group is comprised of friends, family, coworkers, customers, potential customers, strangers, people from church, mom group, anyone can be in your VIP group. I know one of the gals on our team, when she started her VIP group, she posted on her main page and said, hey, I'm starting my VIP group. I've got a lot of fun stuff in here. Why don't you join? It's free. It's going to be great, etc. And she built her VIP group to a pretty impressive level in just a couple days. So that's your VIP group. My VIP group gets worked, and I work them whether they know it or they don't. Everything I post is intentional. It is a rarity. Usually it's because I'm super excited that I post without having thought it out first or having planned it first. So everything I do is extremely intentional. You have to on social media. Everything you post should be with intention. You should have thought out why you're posting this. What do you want to convey to your customers, your VIPs? What do you want them to come away with after you post this? Whether it be something fun and lighthearted, whether it be something about a new strip we've got coming out like Baseball Tomorrow, things like that. So I don't post typically on a whim. These things are thought out. I use Facebook Scheduler a lot. I go live when I can. Let's just put it that way. Things have been kind of crazy lately ever since I got back from vacation. I got myself the flu, which I work in the hospital. My immune system is kryptonite, and this flu just about took me out of the game. But that being said, so I'm getting right back in the game with my VIPs. I had to take a little break there because I wasn't feeling well. So working your acronym VIP. So the R is relationship.
You're kind of going wonky on us.
Sales being a relationship business.
There you are.
Back? Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
So this is good. This is a relationship business. Direct sales is a relationship business. Your VIP group is a relationship business. In your VIP, my VIP, and the people that I didn't know directly. What?
Is it Michelle?
Let me try this.
Or is it my internet? Is Michelle wonky? All right.
Is it me?
Yeah. Because a lot of times I
Okay.
have wonky
Is this
internet.
better?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if this is better.
Oh, we can see you too.
Oh gosh, how lucky for you. Okay. Okay, so the relationships. It's important that the people that don't know me in my VIP group get to know me. I want them to know things about me. I want them to think about me. And this could be a whole stand-up comedy act, but I know we're pressed for time. But I do want them to think about me when they see things like out in the world. For instance, everyone on my VIP group knows that I'm crazy for rose gold. I am rose gold everything. My stethoscope is rose gold. My jewelry is rose gold. My hats are rose gold. Anything rose gold is me. So I've had people that I've never met in person message me saying, I thought about you. This was super pretty in rose gold. These are tennis shoes. You should check them out. Here's a link. These are relationships that I'm building with these people. Relationships build trust. And trust is where you really want to be with these people, because direct marketing and direct sales, we get a bad rap. I know people have come to you and mentioned pyramid schemes, and nothing steams my broccoli than hearing that. But there's not a lot we can do, because there's been some sketchy things, sketchy companies in the past, and people just generally don't have an overall good taste in their mouth about direct sales. So building trust with people is super important, I feel. So along with relationship building, the BFF, the best friend for relationship building, is authenticity. And I can't stress this enough. And this is also going to build trust with your VIPs, and you is being authentic in everything that you do. You have to be authentic. I tell people all the time, when I tell people my why, it's led with my love of the product. That's my number one. That's my why. That's why I came to this company, is because I fell in love with the nail strips. And that's always been number one for me. And that's what I lead with when I tell people about Color Street. I came here because of the nail strips. I stay here because of the nail strips. This is not easy. It's tough. And you have to work it every day. But I do it because I love the product. That's authentic. When you talk to me, I hope that's what you get from me, is authenticity. People can see when you're not authentic a mile away. Doesn't build trust. Thinking that you're just asking them, just like what the previous speaker said, when you're asking for a nail bar, when you're saying, hey, I know you love these, how about we do an online nail bar for you? If they think that your only goal is to sell them a product, they're going to say no. But if they think you're sweet and, oh my gosh, it was so funny what you said, you did such a great job, this and this and this, you're building a relationship, they trust you, they're going to say yes. So be authentic in everything that you do. The C for my race acronym is consistency. And this is one of the things that I do think I excel with, is consistency. I'm very consistent and I'm very intentional in my group. And I have things planned out Monday through Sunday, and what I post every single week. Mondays are Manny Mondays. And I know Debbie does this because she does Thirsty Thursdays. So find your niche. Find something that you like to do. If you can't commit to 5 or 7 days a week, then commit to 1 or 2. But be consistent and do it every single time. People start expecting things. My people, when I was on the cruise, I think I missed Manny Monday. I got the social media package, by the way, just so I could post drunk videos. But I missed Manny Monday, and someone's like, you missed Manny Monday. What's going on? I'm like, well, I'm in the Caribbean. And they're like, oh, it's okay. I go, oh, no. Oh, no, we're getting a Manny Monday. But so be consistent, and people will expect and actually look forward to, believe it or not. Listen, and I'm not saying this about your VIPs, and I'm not calling my VIPs lonely. There are lonely people out there, you guys. There are people that are surrounded by people that are lonely, okay? And it's kind of a weird concept, but people by nature want to connect. We really do. You wouldn't think about, because how hateful the world is. But at the bottom of it all, we just want to connect with one another. And that's why social media, I think, is so amazing. It's a double-edged sword. But sometimes these relationships these people want to connect with you. They want to see what you're doing on Tuesdays. They want to see what you're drinking on Thursdays. They want to know what you're up to and what your family's up to. Maybe that's because some of my stupid live videos are silly, because people just want to connect. They're kind of hanging out, scrolling through, they see and they stop. This is the relationship building. They know what I sell. I don't need to tell them I sell Color Street. They know. I want them to know that I'm here when they're ready to try the nails. And I've gotten 3 messages. My VIP has been open since I started with the company. I've gotten 3 messages from people that have never ordered before, that have been watching this whole time. They're like toddlers. They watch everything you do, which is why you want to be intentional. Okay, so that was consistency. Whatever you choose to do, just be consistent with it. Use Facebook Scheduler. It's amazing. Thankfully, I could cancel. What was the one thing that cost like $10? I pay so much money out a month. It's pathetic. But anyway, I canceled them and Facebook Schedule is good. Okay, so the E for race is engagement. Okay, so now you've got your VIPs. They watch what you do. You want to give them something in return. You want to engage with them. There are a lot of new stylists out there who are very budget oriented. They don't have any money. I get that. So I've got a couple of tips for you that make this so fun. Engaging with your customers. Every Wednesday in my VIP group is Win It Wednesday. Okay, we play a game. We play a game if it's a guessing game, if it's like Color Street Battleship, if it's Color Street Bingo, if it's the how many nail strips are in this picture. Oh my God, my people love those. Whatever it is, we play a Win It Wednesday. And if you're the winner on Wednesday, you're in my group, you're put into a drawing, because at the end of the month, I draw from all the winners. Typically there's 4 of them, 4 weeks in the month. And I draw, and the winner of that drawing gets a prize wheel spin. So I have a prize wheel that I bought off Amazon. It's a dry erase, so you can write whatever prizes you want on it. I give away a free strip, free shipping, a buy one, get one, 50% off your order, special prize pack, gift card, stuff like that. So that way, I'm not necessarily always giving a free strip out, like a gift card. It's a $5 gift card to Starbucks or Target or something like that. So that's what I do for Win It Wednesday. But some other fun gifts you could do for engagement, because people like getting stuff, you guys. They really do want something for nothing. What I like to do is I buy instant scratch-off tickets. They're $1. It's the best dollar you'll spend next to that Wow Cleanser at Dollar Tree. That stuff's amazing. It takes grout, cleans your grout so good. But no one wants that. But the scratch-off tickets, they do love. They love the scratch-off tickets, you guys. You're spending $1. And my caveat is, if you win, you have to buy Color Street. Not with all of it, but you have to buy something. And everyone's like, oh, of course we will. But I give those away for my birthday club, for the gals in my birthday club. I send them a birthday card with a happy birthday, because everyone likes getting mail that's not a bill, and with an instant scratch-off. And I give my Win It Wednesday winners, they win that as well. I get their address. I send them a toozie and the scratch off for the winning that week, and then they're entered into the main drawing. So like, these are just some examples and suggestions for you. You can do this however you want, but build a relationship, be authentic, be consistent and intentional in your groups, and just engage with your people. The more you engage in your group, the more Facebook's going to love you. Your VIPs are going to love you. And if your VIPs and Facebook love you, then you're going to be successful. So that's what I've got, you guys.
Wow, that's lots of great stuff. I know someone had a question here. Oh, how are you getting their birthdays, Michelle?
Oh, I asked them. I made a post and I pinned it. I got a graphic off the web and just said, happy birthday. Post your birthday down here. And they loved it. People love attention, you guys. They'll do anything for attention.
I never dreamed of an instant scratch off, because it is hard to find inexpensive. We can't always give free sets of nails away.
No, it's too expensive.
And then it gets expensive to send nail polish remover or something. You're putting a liquid in. So that is a really great idea. I love that. You post, okay, here's what I'm going to do since we're out of time for questions. I'll put a post in Beautifully Polished, just questions from the team call. And then if people have questions, they can start putting it in comments there. But I'd love for you to post your Amazon wheel. If you could get us the link, I'd love to see what that is.
I do.
And you're right. Consistency is the key. I've had people say, because I've gotten a little lax on my Thirsty Thursdays, I've missed your Thirsty Thursdays. Where are you? So you do, if you start to lose them, then you got to try to get them back. so I love that you do different things each day. I think that's awesome. So awesome. And I'm glad we could see your face at the end. And now I'm going to have everybody trying to friend you and watch you. Whenever they see you go live, they're going to try to catch your goofiness. So thank you to everybody. Oh my gosh, you guys were just great. So thank you to Michelle, and I was going to call you Abby, Amy, because you're killing us with Abby on there. To Nikki and to Tisha. Great talks, you guys. I'm sorry we don't have time for questions, but like I said, I'll post, then everybody can just ask questions in there. I'll put their names at the top. So if you want to specifically tag them on a question, I'll put their name with what they talked about, if that'll help. And then if you want to specifically tag them in a question, that would be great. And I really appreciate all you guys. It's so helpful because we all do things differently, and there is no right or wrong answer. And you guys all need to know that. Well, there could be some wrong things. I guess you could, like who said, watch the politics, you could do some things that probably aren't the greatest. But no, there's really no right or wrong. So all of our ideas, the more we get and the more we can share with each other, the stronger we all become. And it can only benefit our whole entire team and the whole Color Street company. So you guys enjoy your April. Have a great month. All these new spring nails, again, even with the out of stocks, I know it's a little challenging right now, but just keep an eye on them. I keep ordering them as I see them to be getting out to my customers. Again, if you're doing nail bars right now, get other ideas of what they want for nails. Know what are out of stock when you go into it, so you can say this is out of stock right now and see if they're willing to wait, because they have been coming back pretty quick, except for that one hold up we had on What Are You Up To? And Peace, Love, and Tie-Dye, but that's already come back twice now. So just see if they're okay on waiting. And then if not, see what they'd want in exchange. So always go into nail bars knowing what is not there. So, okay, I'd love to take questions, but I can't because I got to go find out what I can find out for you guys. If there's anything else I need to share. So thanks, everybody, and I will I'll post the link after it uploads to YouTube. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you to everybody.